In this video, we'll review the steps that we undertake to convert FIFO value inventory to a LIFO basis using dollar value LIFO. Again, the assumption is firms maintain inventory records on a FIFO basis because it's easier to track based on recent prices. Our first step is to convert FIFO dollar inventory values into a base year price. We do that by taking the FIFO value inventory and dividing it by the price index. In the base year, our index is 100%. If we have 15% inflation in the second year, the price index will be 115%. And of course, when we take our inventory value and divide it by the price index, we see that the $299,000 in inventory we have at today's prices would have been worth $260,000 back in 2012. We do the same thing for 2013 inventory. In 2013, on a FIFO basis, our inventory in today's dollars would be $300,000. But on a FIFO basis, using prices that we would have paid back in 2011, our inventory would only be worth $250,000. And again, we convert the 2014 value inventory as well. Let's go ahead and look at how we would have valued our inventory in 2012. Again, the first step, convert our FIFO value inventory into base year prices. So base year prices, our inventory would have been worth $260,000. Now of that, our first layer we would have added back in 2011, and you can see we had $200,000 worth of inventory available in 2011. The other $60,000 we add in the second year, 2012. And of course, any inventory we purchased in 2011 would have been base year prices, and it would simply be worth the $200,000. But the $60,000 layer we purchased in 2012, we wouldn't have paid $60,000 for it because inflation caused a 15% increase in prices. It would have cost us $60,000 times the 115%. It would have cost us $69,000 in that second year. So on a LIFO basis, our inventory is $269,000. On our books, inventory is shown at $299, so we would need to have an allowance account of the difference between the two, $299 minus $269. The allowance to reduce our inventory to LIFO valuation would be $30,000. So we will credit the allowance to reduce inventory to LIFO by $30,000. And again, since we're effectively reducing our inventory by $30,000, we are increasing cost of goods sold by that same $30,000. Let's move on to 2013. Again, in base year prices, our 2013 ending inventory is worth $250,000. Of that, the very first layer, the oldest layer, will be from 2011, and we've got $200,000 worth of inventory from 2011. We have $50,000 in inventory from 2012, and we will not add any layer in the current year. So again, we convert it back to base year prices by taking our current value, the $200,000, multiplying it by the price index. Whatever we added in that first year, it was at base year prices already. The $50,000 when we purchased in 2012 would have cost us $257,000. So our ending inventory is $257,500. Which means we need an allowance of, let's take the difference between our current inventory on a FIFO basis, $300,000, minus $257,000, we need an allowance of $42,500. Currently, the allowance is $30,000 left over from the prior year. So we're going to need to increase that allowance by the difference, or $12,500 will be our entry to increase our allowance to the current required balance of $42,500. Let's move on to 2014. In 2014, on a base year prices, our inventory is worth $270,000. Let's go ahead and work through our calculations for 2014. So $270,000 in base year prices. Of that, we have a layer of $200,000 from 2011. We have a layer of $50,000 from 2012. We did not add anything in 2013 because our inventory went down in terms of base year prices, which means the remaining $20,000 had to be added at current year's prices. Again, now we convert them to current year values. These were base year values. We multiply them by the price index and we convert them to current values. And we see our inventory in terms of current dollars on a LIFO basis is $283,500. Since on our books we're carrying our inventory on a FIFO basis, and on our books it reads $351, we want to reduce it to $283. We're going to need an entry to increase the allowance to $67,500. The prior year's allowance was $42,500. So in terms of our entry for the current year, we're going to need to increase the allowance by 67 minus the 42,500. Our entry to increase the allowance in the current year will be $25,000.